The intro again. I swear to God.
That didn't work very well.
I know if Dave was here, he'd be keeled over and he wouldn't even be able to breathe at the moment.
I double checked that everything was online, and it was. I won't say.
I think that's why Dave's not here. He just can't work with this amateur organisation.
Sure, look. Nice of you to come back, but before we get there, on a serious note, I speak for all of us when I say our thoughts go out to Tommy Jakes, who sadly lost his life this morning. Look, our thoughts and condolences go out to all his family on this what is a tragic and difficult time. Right. As you can see, we've no dino tonight, but am I pointing right? This fella, he's back from his travels.
You pointed the wrong way.
On my screen, it's this way. It must be the opposite. On my screen, you're this way. But anyway, this fella then.
That's great.
Anyway, Tom is back. He's back from South Africa, his marathon, and most importantly, the breakthrough win at Cheltenham happened last week. Thomas Rain, how are we feeling after that?
Yeah, it's been a big few months, really. First marathon in the bag, followed by another one, and then Cheltenham Saturday, Zurich, ITV. Like, it's just so good. So good. I always knew the first winner. I remember, Andrew, when we did the video after Zoff won the Tramore Derby, and we said, like, what's going to rival that feeling. I do think I said Cheltenham Festival winners, but I think I said Cheltenham winners. It's going to have to be into Cheltenham winners. And seeing that lad jump the last like it was a puissance fence and scoot on up the hill, flicking his ears. What a feeling, lads. It was incredible.
He jumped the last like it was his first.
Yeah, he jumped it better on that occasion than he did the circuit before, where he actually ran into it. But Dara saw stride, and he said, "Come on up, you good thing." And off he went up the hill. And
I'm sure that was the exact words you said as he came up over the last.
Yeah. Oh, I was doing it. Oh, if you'd have said, I mean, it was mildly recorded. I think one guy from the jockey club was behind us, and Katie took the opportunity to get some content. I was stood next to her, and as he came down the hill, and Dara took a pull to fill him up, and just grabbed her arm. I was like, it was like Jamie Carragher and Thierry Henry in the leg tap. It was like, and I was like, fill him up, Dara. I thought I was riding myself there at one stage, but he was class. He was brilliant. Fair play to Henry. He's done a great job with him. Gave him a wind up there after Navan, and he's come back a different horse. So looking forward to him going forward big time.
I thought you did very well to hold it together on ITV. You were millimeters away from losing it. You could see it. The voice nearly went. The eyes were welling up. He was so close to going.
Yeah, I think there's someone put it on the. Can you click on the comments here, Andrew?
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah.
Which one?
Third one up, Philly 47. Tom on ITV was shaking like a shitting dog. I would say that's a fair comment.
Fair assessment.
It was. Thankfully, these marathons now, you have to I try and regulate my breathing to bring my heart rate down. I'm no joke. I was stood there going, breathe.
Didn't work.
No, didn't work. And the celebrations, I think the trophy is somewhere in Galway. Anyone who saw us in Birmingham can attest to we went hard. Shout out to Johnny, Jordan, Anya, and Patrick. Was the main crew for the Birmingham carry on. I think the trophy got filled up a few times with multiple cocktails. So
I have video content to prove that. And Tom, I can confirm Tom Rain's knees can get very low.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Do you know there was nobody else dancing in that bar?
I know. I could see in the video, Tom. There was no one else in the goddamn pub.
Wasn't really a dancing bar. It was very busy, but there's a lot of people sat down enjoying themselves. But no, we were those people, if you want to put it that way.
And rightly so. Before we move on, any plans going forward? Where is he going? Is he going somewhere in 2 weeks?
No, I don't.
Ah,
I
Tom,
don't
come on.
think so. We'll see. Nat, who I run the syndicate with, has got his head stuck in the form book, so he's having a look at a few options for him. We're going to see how he is. Got a photo of him the other day with mud all over his rug. He'd enjoyed himself out in the field, so we'll see how he is over the next week or 10 days. But it might just come too soon, but we'll see. I think we kind of got to treat him like one that's rapidly improving. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about the November meeting, but he'll be back to Cheltenham at some stage anyway, and hopefully that's in March. So,
Shush, the handicapper might be listening.
we'll see. He put him up 6, which is fair enough. So
You only got 6. Should have got 16.
he won by 3 and a bit lengths, I think, is all he won by. Poor thing.
Right.
Struggled to get up the hill.
Anywho, we have 3, 6, 7, 8 races to get through today. Before we move on, any other news, anything spurring up, Sean? Anything on your side? Oh, wait. Whoa. How did I forget this, Tom?
Sean's engagement.
Sean's engagement.
Or his birthday.
Sean's after getting engaged. Congratulations, Sean.
Sean's engagement or his birthday.
Well done, Sean.
I believe one was real, one was not.
Yeah, I still don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, I was late to the party on Zurich, unfortunately, and was roaming around in Paris somewhere, and the phone just started exploding. I was like, what the fuck is it? What the fuck was going on here? And then I seen all the videos and all coming through. So that was unreal. I had to take a pit stop in the middle of Paris for 20 minutes and tell her to kill the jets while I had to take this all in. But yeah, I decided to wind the lads up. Tom was a good few bottles of Moet in, I'd say, at this stage. So I said, I'll throw out the bait. And I told the lads that Dave was convinced last week. He told everyone was going to propose, and sent the lads a picture of a girl with a wedding ring on, and it was absolutely snapped up. I think Tom was running around telling everyone that was engaged, and the lads believed. And I let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, and then I broke the bad news.
Sean, if there's anyone out there comes up to you that is connected to me and says congrats on the engagement when you're getting married, I didn't correct anybody once I said it. So as far as they know, you're engaged.
You have to do it now. You have to make it a reality now, or it's going to deny you.
Yeah, that's it. Tom's just forced me to do it. I'm sure Tom will sort out the ringing off me.
Sort that. Yeah, I'll be over in South Africa soon, actually.
Anyway, right, we'll move on. We have 8 races to get through. We have 6 from we have 5 from Down Royal. We have 3 from Weatherby. We're going to kick off tomorrow, 2:02. The Grade 3 Irish Stallions Farms EBF. For ladies, mares, novice, hurdle. Jesus, that's a long name. Right, so we have Cargamore Spruce in at even money. We have Cortina in at 5-1. Blue Waters in at 30-2. Sean's Mrs. Horses in at 8-1. Full of Life and Bigger the rest. Sean, you're in with the Vega family. What's the voice coming out about Camilleta Vega tomorrow?
Oh, Jesus. I'd say the jockey Puckins probably tell you enough, to be honest with you. And she's been a bit disappointing for me. I'd say she's a bit moody, and she has her days when she wants to go and when she doesn't want to go. But getting back to, there's a good couple of...
this year, and told you this last year and you didn't listen.
We tell him a lot of things he don't listen.
Listen, if people told me Aurora Vega wouldn't win as well, Tom, but she won a Grade 1, so you just have to hold the hope the whole way through that it might happen one day. But look, I think there's a couple of short favourites across the weekend, odds-on shots everywhere, but I think this is by far one of the strongest favourites of the weekend at that Down Royal card. Carrickmore and the Spruce. Look, she has a bumper form. It's all there to be seen. She's gone to the big festivals. She ran a cracker. She ran up behind Bambino Fever at the Dublin Racing Festival. Switched for Diesel, who's a good bumper horse. And then she finally got her head in front that punches down when she beat Shutlin. But it was just the last day down in the stall. For me, that's probably the best mare's hurdle we've seen made in hurdle run this year. I know there's obviously not been too many, but there was a lot of strength and depth in that. A couple of winners have come out of it. And she just bossed it off the front. She went down front, she pinged everything, and she went down to the last full of juice and gave her probably about 2 or 3 feet higher than he needed to, and then bolted away. And look, the horse in behind for Charles Bourne's come out and run since it won. It also went over to Cheltenham. You had Amen Kate in behind there. And I just think there's an opportunity here. You're taking on William Munn's 4-string Paul decided to ride. I'd have me question marks about her. I'd say she's probably a summer horse spring. I don't think she's going to be the top of the winter, crop where I can see Carrickmore and Spruce going on as these horses start to come out and still flying the flag. And I'm looking behind, and I just think it's a bit of a weak race. I think there's a couple of horses with ones beside the name, but what they're worth, I'm not very sure. Where Carrickmore and Spruce brings all the top level form in here for me, and I see you can still get even money. I'll be really gobsmacked, to be honest, if she's not getting stuck into tomorrow. I could see her probably going off about 4 to 6 around that price. So Carrickmore and Spruce will be a strong one to start off the weekend for me.
What about you, Tom? Is Carrickmore and Spruce the one to beat?
Yeah, I can't knock the logic. I think that race in the stall was a very good race. One of our horses, Something Fabulous, actually beat the second in a bumper. So I'd followed that through and had a close eye on that race and Run for Mile. I finished second there. Ran well at Cheltenham the other day as well. Just made a mistake at the wrong time, but definitely ran well. And the third Amen Kate has come out and won, as Sean said. So I think the form of that looks very, very strong. Her bumper form is very, very strong. I do think she'll take a lot of beating. As Sean says, I think she'll be less than. I think she'll go off less than even money. So if you can get that, I wouldn't be put off. Another one in there, Blue Waters, was very impressive as the stole. That wasn't the best race in the world, but her bumper form is good as well, so she'd have a chance. I'm going to take a swing on one each way. You're getting 3 places. I think it's fairly wide open behind the favourite. I'm going to go with Henry's horse. Don't worry, I'm not tipping too many of them this weekend, but this one I'm going to take a chance on. Full of Life. She was an easy winner at Tremor. Kilbeggan then was 10 lengths clear at on stage, and it just didn't work out well. I'd forgive anyone a run at Kilbeggan. It doesn't suit all horses. Beaten a length and a half then. The Kilbeggan run and the next run are actually over fences, and she comes back to hurdles, which is interesting. But she was beaten a length and a half by a horse called Relieved of Duties, who was second in a pretty good race at Cheltenham on Friday. So the form of that looks fairly solid. She ran to 116 at Tremor when absolutely hosing up. I would fancy she's well into the 120s by the time she's finished up, and I think that gives her a good chance of placing here. Henry's in really, really good form. The ground is fine. She's 16 to 1. I think 3 places each way. I think that's a really good bet, and I've backed her.
Look, I agree with Sean. Look, I've not hidden my thoughts on Carrickmore and Spruce. I think she's a mare going places very fast. She was done well to run as well as she did in bumpers. Look, the form is there to be seen behind Bambino Fever. She switched. She split Switch for the Evil and Future Prospect. I'd give another chance of this season if she decides to settle, and absolutely bolted up on a hurdles debut. Beat Amen Kate, who was actually after coming out and winning since. I just think she's a big mare. She's going to improve with age, and I think she'll take a hell of a lot beating here. I think she'll win impressively, and I think she's going. Look, we're talking about Cheltenham already, but I think she'll have a serious hand to be playing in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. I think she's 20-25 to 1 right now. She's going to be shorter than that after she wins tomorrow. So I'll be taking a bit of that before she runs tomorrow. But I think tomorrow she will take one hell of a beating. Right now,
the thing is, she's going to go out in front. I think you just keep her easy. Like you pop her out, she's out of trouble. She's not in the way of anything.
She's uncomplicated. She doesn't even look like a mare. She's massive, and she's only going to improve as the season goes on. So she'll be one for me. Right, 237. Where are we? 237. The Bottlegreen Hurdle. List the race over 2 mile 1 furlong. The Yellow Clay dropping down in trip to 2 mile 1 for the first time. We've Casherdale Lad in at 9 to 4, and we've 7 to 1. Backhannon. What? I can never say this fella's name.
Back in Alien.
That's the one, back in Alien. Ryle Hollow and Hive the Tiger. Tom, interesting that the Yellow Clay, look, he's dropping down to this kind of trip for the first time over hurdles. Obviously, he's ran over this level and bumpers. Has to give weight all around. Surely, he's still too good for this? Or is the money coming for the stablemate telling us something?
Yeah, I don't. I'm just having a quick refresh here on the market that I haven't checked since I did up. But look, this is the start of the Gordon Elliott show. He's won 4 out of the last 5 of this. He's bidden for 5 in a row. He's had multiple runners in it before, and the market normally gets this right. I am all over the Yellow Clay. Sean said there's a few shorties over the weekend. And this is one I'm definitely
I
on the
was
right
not
side
expecting that.
of. Really?
Yeah, I didn't think you would be.
No, I really am now. He was 8-11 when I was doing this race earlier, and I had that down as a good price. And I thought he's probably a 1-2 shot here. It'd be interesting if money comes to the other one, but I just can't see it, to be honest. He's out to 10-11. I wonder what he is on Betfair, but that would be a smash of a short one for me at that price. He was really mixed amongst the very highest of the novices last season, didn't he? Fantastic form at Cheltenham. He's got a £12 grade 1 penalty. He ends up giving, I think, £8 to Cashledale Lad. I can't see any of the others getting into this based on the weights. He's only got to get £6 to back and all, and like should be miles ahead of that. Absolutely miles ahead. I presume Gordon will have him ready. I can't see why he wouldn't. Won a maiden hurdle first time out at this meeting last year. I don't see why he won't just go and win. I'm really, really sweet on him for the weekend. Cashledale Lad was a good winner of a handicap hurdle that stole off 140 last time with a £7 claim. It was third in the Galway hurdle before that. But like, if you think what would the yellow clay be doing in those races off the marks he was and now he's only got to give him £8. Like I just think he'll win. I think he'll win well, and it's a nice starting point for him.
Sean, sometimes things are too good to be true. What is his price too good to be true?
Yeah, if you sit on the fence race for me, I just don't know. There's just something telling me, like as Tom says, like I would say if he was on his day, he is around the 1-2 shot, and it just worries me that he is a bit weak. Look, he could be absolutely smashed tomorrow. I know he's to give his fourth run of the season. He did win up there last year, but just dropping down to 2 miles for the first time since his bumper days, I don't know. It's just a couple of things. Like at the swing of the weights and the ratings, like he only has to perform £2 below, and Cashledale Lad is there beside him. So I don't know. There's just something worrying me a little bit. I do agree with Tom, but I think it's a 2-horse race. I just don't see back an Alien in the same sphere as them other two, and the Royal Hollow. You just don't know what side of the bed he's going to get up out of. But it worried me that he is that price. He could be smashed tomorrow, as I said, but he hasn't to perform too far below for Cashledale Lad to be there, and he's only put up a season best. So it'll be interesting to see if that money keeps coming for him.
Yeah, look, I love the yellow clay. I've been banging his drum for all season last year. I genuinely can't see him being beaten tomorrow. Tom's at to look at the same text I got.
Oh, Dave. So we're here doing a show. Dave's not here. And he's putting text, which can't be repeated because I don't want to get sued by the royal family. Or should I say, I was going to say Prince Andrew or Andrew, let's call him now. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He's still got more money than me, so I don't want to get sued by him. Dave, please stop. We're trying to do a show.
Dave. Anyway, we're not going to reveal. No, Jesus Christ. I was going to say we won't reveal at the end of the show. We're definitely not revealing at the end of the show. Anyway, back to matters at hand. The yellow clay, it looks like he's going to hit even money soon. And if he hits even money, even at 10-11, I think he's a smashing price. To me, he's a country mile clear of the rest. I know he's only £10 clear on official ratings, and the weight he has given away gets Cashledale Lad close to him. Look, he is an improving horse going on his third in the Galway hurdle and his win last time out. But like, the yellow clay is a great one horse in the making. He's going to improve as the season going on. I know the ground is good to yielding as it is right now. Look, we're getting pelted by rain down here for the last. God knows. I don't know what it's like up in the north now, but if it gets into the ground up there, it's going to suit him even more. Winner on this card last year in his maiden. I think he has so much more to give than he showed last season.
It's a strange prep, isn't it? Like, as in, he's saying he's a stair hurdle horse. I'm shocked to see him down at 2 miles at Down Royal, and he's not going to like a Navan in a couple of weeks' time over 2.5 miles.
He still could be. It looks on paper, it looks a penalty kick. It looks like a bit of schooling, but you're getting paid for. And then I say the other one's just in case he doesn't perform. They're covering all bases with prize money and whatnot.
Yeah, I just thought like he's saying that he's a stairs hurdle horse. It's It's mad. It's not mad, but to be down to 2 miles to
Look,
going back up
as
3
Willie
miles.
would say, they'll run him in what they can when they're ready.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what they'll run him in until they hit their proper targets. But it's not. Look, at the end of the day, it's not an ideal trip. 2 mile one is not an ideal trip for him because he didn't run over this trip over hurdles. It was all been 2.6, 2.4, 2.4, 2.4, 2.5, and he took a mother and a father of a fall at Punchestown last year. Now that might be taken into account in this price. How is he going to perform after that? I know it was back in the end of May, but they don't forget bad falls. But look, at the end of the day, to me, I think he's miles the best horse in the race, and I think he'll take a hell of a lot of beating. Right, 247. I'm trying to multitask here, Dave. You were just saying this. 247. 247.
347.
347 is the Down Royal BetVictor Beginner's Chase, 2 mile 4. Romeo Coolio making his chase debut at 8-11. Kotal Divan, who's not a back number at all, is 5-2. Where's my jet? Who races like he thinks he's a jet at 7-1 and is bigger the rest. Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a big fan of Romeo Coolio. Looks like a chase for the making. That's not the right bloody thing anyway. This is the right one. Is it his to lose tomorrow, or are you just going to sit back and watch and hope he performs well? Because Henry's Yoke is not a bad horse in his own right. Not placed, but fourth in the grade one. Let's find a start.
Yeah, look, I won't be parting cash. He's odds on now, but I am really looking forward to him. I think, look, there's no hiding about it. He's probably been anything that the owners, I'd say, are delighted what he done over hurdles and bumpers, because I'd say all over time it was always going to be what he done over fences. And look, reading the Racing Post during the week, Gordon seems to be very happy with him. He says he reckons he has him and he's well forward and he's schooling well. So, look, I think I think he's going to appreciate this trip. I know they talked about going down. Look, he would have been a classic Turner's horse, in my opinion. I know they talked about going down the Arkle route, but I think he's going to appreciate the extra little distance that you get here. And he could be a horse that might end up being Aintree or Fairy House grade 1 bound if Cheltenham isn't the thing over 2 miles. But coming in here, look, he hosed up here last year in the maiden hurdle. Absolutely ramped up. So I reckon they have him well ready for this. Cocktail Diving, as you touched on, he's no back number. And then a couple of good maidens behind, William Money and Cowabunga, and then got his head in front, and then was fourth at Aintree. But I'd say just one to keep an eye on in a long-term project in this race would be Rushmount. I think this lad might have a couple of schooling sessions before going down the handicap route. He ran well in some cracking handicap hurdles last year. So I'd be hopefully getting nowhere near the places tomorrow, but you'd want to see him jumping well. So that's just a little horse to keep an eye on down the route. But yeah, I think Romeo Coolio will probably take all the beating.
Tom?
Yeah, look, I bet the same as Sean. I thought Romeo Coolio would take all the beating. Would I be parting with cash at him at 8-11? I don't think so. It's third and Supreme, second at Aintree. To me, he looks like the type to improve going chasing. Gordon's got an excellent record in this as well. He's won 5 out of the last 6. He can get beat, is the only thing. Now, I know he's running in very good races, but like he was just, I don't know. I thought he'd been better now at Aintree. He was third.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to say shoot the gun too early. I don't know if I might be something right-handed, because I was up at the Royal Bond last year and he just threw out a stinker. Well, it wasn't like a complete stinker, but he should have won that race. And then his days in his Fairy House bumper, he wasn't great getting home. Now, it could be jumping to something too early, but it'd be interesting to see tomorrow, because everything left-handed is rock solid. It's when he goes right-handed, he throws in a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially. I mean, look, he won his maiden hurdle, but he was 2-13 last year.
Yeah.
That Royal Bond is still stuck in the back of my head. Like he surely should have just won that race. So I don't know. That's enough for me not to go back him at 8-11, but I do think he'd win. Cocktail Divan took a few runs to get his head in front. Fourth in the grade 1 at Aintree. It wouldn't be the first horse of Henry's to go and improve over fences, would he? So it wouldn't be a huge surprise if he went and beat him. But for that reason, I'll sit on the fence and watch it. But Sean, Rushmount is interesting. Jonathan Sweeney's a decent trainer, and was fourth in a DRF handicap last year.
A beautiful 20 length behind the later skilled one session would be right up the street for that lad now.
His only problem is like he's rated 100. That was off 126 in Leopardstown. He's now rated 136 over hurdles. There's no way he's getting less than that over fences, no matter what. So, yeah, he's going to be off that, but he's going to have to improve for a fence. But he definitely could.
Yeah, I more or less watch and brief. No money will be parted. As Tom alluded to, Cotad Living won't be the first and probably won't be the last horse to improve for a fence with Henry. But look, on all known form, Romeo Coolio should be winning this. And look, it's early season clues of where they might go, who's improving, who's not improving. So I would advise sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Right, the main show on Saturday, Grade 1 BetVictor Champion Chase, the return of Envoy Allen, aka Roy, and aka Kubo's favorite horse ever. Tom, we'll start with you. Look, he's run at Down Royal 6 times. He's only ever been beaten once, and that was ahead, or not even ahead, a neck to Jerry Clom in this 2 years ago. He's going to be drilled for it. This is his main target all season. He's 2-1. A bit of money start come back in for Spillane Tower with the rain on the way. Surely this is his for the losing.
I think it's hard to say it's his for the losing. I don't think it's not a bad race. I wouldn't say it's a bad race, but
Sorry, I'll rephrase that. In regards to the level that Envoy Allen sets, he sets a big bar that you all have to get to, especially around there.
Yeah, he does. Look, in fairness, like as I said before, Henry's in great form at the minute as well, which really, really helps. And he's got an excellent record there, and this is slap bang the target. So Spillane's Tower, his run in the John Durkin, if he comes to that form, he's going to be hard to beat. Like he split Gallopin and what's my favourite horse? The Brian Eyre winner.
One you can't remember.
Factofoil.
Factofoil.
How did you forget his name?
The first show of the season, lads. We don't worry about him until he comes out, at least, anyway. But yeah, look, Spillane's Tower split the two of them. This might be a prep run. Is my only thing, but if he's getting punted, it might not be. Apparently, he didn't travel very well over and then back from Cheltenham, to Kempton. So maybe you can put a line through that. I think he's the danger. If he turns up at that John Durkin form, I think he's going to be really difficult to beat. Found a 50, very good record, fresh. Has won at this meeting for the last 2 years. This is his first try over 3 miles. I think if Spillane's Tower turns up at the top of his form and Envoy Allen turns up at the top of his form, I think he's going to find it hard to beat them. I'll be cheering on Envoy Allen, but there's a horse I've kind of fallen in love with over the summer, who's running here, has fitness on his side, and I think you can get 13-2 in a place with one bookmaker, and I think it's too big, and that's Western Fold. He's been a rapid improver. He won the Galway Plate before going on to win at Goran. Steps back up in trip after Goran, which I think is in his favour. This lad is bolting up in races. Like it's scary to think where his ceiling might be. He comes into this. With fitness on his side, and yeah, look, I was just taking a look at odds checker there, and he's 13-2 with William Hill, 5-1 pretty much everywhere else. So he's a much bigger price. So look, if you follow the AK bets rule, you don't take the 13-2. You go and find the 9-2 somewhere else, and you take that. So just remember, guys, when you're using odds checker, look for the shortest price.
Don't take it. But
Don't take it. And then if it gets referred to an in-house trader and they lay it to you, you're the bad guy.
Also follow them on Twitter on how to ruin a business overnight.
That is the worst piece of PR I've ever seen in my life.
Dear Lord.
And I actually enjoy some of their content. I do enjoy some of their content. The podcast is the most negative thing I've ever listened to in my life. It's like, how can we be more miserable?
I've never listened.
However, some of their content is good, and it's enjoyable to get an inside view. But oh my God, the bet got referred to an in-house trader. Once your trader accepts that, it's your fault. End of story. Best luck.
He had 20 quid on the goddamn thing.
Look, your man knew what. I'm sure your man knew what he was doing. Like, and as a bookmaker, you don't want those punters. From their perspective, I totally understand that. But once your trader accepts that bet, it's your fault.
Anyway, Sean, thoughts on the champion chase?
That's the AK Bet sponsorship gone anyway, Andrew. Sorry about that.
Tom has been sitting on that, I think, for about a week. You just need to get there off the chest.
Good now. I'm being very good now. I'm keeping quiet.
My thoughts on the race. I think it's a heart and head thing, isn't it? Like, you just know that Envoy Allen is going to be drilled and ready for this. And like Thomas touched on, Henry's going at a 21% strike rate. Like, he's firing on all cylinders at the moment, and he's not going to be left an inch short at 11 years of age. I can promise you this is D-Day. If he doesn't win a race for the rest of the season, they won't care if he's able to win this. The only thing I would say is I'd say they've watered the fuck out of Down Royal, and there's about 30 millimeters on the way, I think they said, all the rain due. So if it was to get deep, I can see why this plans to how I can see Tom's angle. I think the deeper it gets, the more it comes into his court. I just don't think he likes quick ground. I think you seen him last year against Galloping. He just threw a stinker. I know he said about not travelling great around Kempton as well. A bit quicker ground. He wasn't great. But you come back to that Doken run, and that's the one that's hard to get out of your head. And it's a really tough one. I've seen Tom's angle with Western Fall, but it worried me with all the rain. I think if he gets soft or heavy ground, he might be pulled. I said he might be trying to hold him for better ground and maybe hope Ferdy House a drill more.
I wonder how soft it's going to get there. Like, it's normally all right. That's what
I think the telltale sign for me was Shark packed up the bags and went over to Weatherby. And I know he lost a rag last season.
I'm literally on Met Aaron here now. Tomorrow from about 10 o'clock in the morning till about 1:30, it's torrential rain up there.
Yeah, I think they're going to get... Well, the thing is, they're going to get it bad. If it's anything like the weather we've been getting, they're going to get it bad. And I just think Western Fold, he has that novice tag. He can run in the Drim more. I worry if the ground gets a bit soft. Would they think about holding up for that? But I can't decide. It's a flip of a coin. I can see Envoy doing it and being drilled for it. And Brian Tower might be a little bit short on the season debut. Bigger things ahead. So if you force me, I probably would say Envoy.
Force you to tip the Henry horse.
That must have absolutely killed you. That's nearly as bad as Dave tipping up.
I love King Envoy before he went to.
Before he went.
Yeah, he can't even say his name.
Sean's like, this is the worst grade one of the year. Willie never targets this. I can never tip up a Willie horse.
If only he ran Galloping.
Oh.
Yeah, I won't be part of money. I'll be cheering on Envoy. I hope he'll win. I think he'll win because of the fact that he's going to be a dreadful minute. This is literally the only grade one this season he can win. He's 11 now. It'll be probably the last grade one he can win, and they're not going to leave any stone unturned with him. I seen a video of him with Henry the other day. He looks great. He looks fit and ready to go. Look, if he's on his A game, he'd be very hard to beat. I don't think Spillane Tower is going to be drilled in a minute. It's not a Jimmy Mangan thing to have a horse like him absolutely drilled to the minute first time up. But again, you still have as the lad said, the John Durkin run in your mind. If he ran to that level, he's banging there. Probably the one to beat if he can run to that level. But he showed two absolute stinkers after that. He got battered in the King George and then battered in the Punchestown Gold Cup. And even if you go back to his novice form, his novice form is not really up to much. But look, he's thrown in that one run that throws doubt into Envoy Allen winning if he gets to that level. But at the end of the day, look, I hope Envoy Allen wins. His record at Down Royal is 2nd to none. And he should go out with a bang.
We're cheering on Envoy.
Yeah, come on.
I think even Dave will be cheering on him.
No, are you mental?
It's the reason he hasn't turned up at the show tonight. He had to cover
I said we're going to have a big segment on Envoy Allen. He said, nah, not doing it. I'm taking the night off.
The Envoy boycott, imagine.
Right, the last one at Down Royal we're going to cover is the 3:15. Is the Kildress Plumbing Grade 2 chase over 2 miles, 3.5 furlongs. Firefox, who is has an unbelievable record first time out, is 5 to 6. Gorgeous Tom, not Tom Rain, is 10 to 3. Spellatrix is 9 to 2. Croke Park is 7-1 and 100-1, 250-1. Bar. Sean, give us your take on this.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Well, Fox for me is a bit of a bridesmaid, and I just don't know. In a heat of battles, you want to get it done, but you touched on he runs very well fresh, and that's probably why he's going to be so short now. Gorgeous Tom is a horse that I don't know. He ran a cracker on the
Flashers to deceive.
Yeah, he ran a cracker on the Drimmore, didn't he, last season? And then I just don't know. The Cheltenham run was good. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't terrible, but it was the Punchestown run now that just now maybe end of the season, maybe one run too many.
Tom, what's Punchestown for?
Drinking pints, Sean. Drinking pints.
Yeah, it could have been that, and then the heavy ground just worrying me a little bit. So I can see why Firefox's favourite. But one, we were up in Punchestown with Sean, and the lads will know who Sean is, and big fan of the podcast. I'd say he listens every week. We were standing up there when Crow Park was running on his first day, and Big Gordo turns around and says, "Yeah, this lad's about as big as me. He's going to take a few runs to get going. So if you're thinking of parting cash for Crow Park, I'd say give it another run or two before he's ready," because me and Sean broke out and laughed when I heard that sentence being oversaid. That was brilliant. So if you're thinking about back in Crow Park, I'd hold your cash. There's maybe another big day ahead, but not a race I want to be parting money with, to be honest with you.
Tom, do you want to explain who that other Sean is?
That other Sean. Sean's the one thing. The other thing we haven't touched on that's happened since last year, since I was on, is we bought a greyhound.
Yes.
And Sean's the guy I owned the greyhound with. She's called Pimlico Princess, named in jest after my lovely wife Siobhan. Pimlico Princess. We had a good night out, Andrew, didn't we?
We had very good night out.
She finished third or fourth.
Third. Staying on.
Yeah. Staying on third. She should have won the other day. She was about half a length up on a dog, and she's a fan of cutting in, and she decides to cut in halfway onto a dog that was about 4 times the size of her. So that didn't end too well.
She was going to win. She was going to both.
She was going. Yeah, it looked like she was going. All she had to do was not even cut in, just run the straight line. She'd have won. But no, it's good fun. It's been good fun. Sean keeps me up to date. He's very entertaining. He loves when they go for trials and stuff.
Oh, but Les, you want to see Gordon was beside us when he said that, and I'm not even messing. He couldn't even hold a straight face. So I just looked at him, and he looked at me. He's like, "Did you hear that?" And he just broke out. It was fantastic.
He's a very funny guy.
He's one of the funniest people you will ever meet in your life. He's about 6'4". We call him Mini Gordo. He's 6'4", has a Gordon Elliott jacket. If you see him at Cheltenham in November, you'll know exactly who he is. He's like a gentle giant. He is absolutely golden.
I felt sorry for him the other day. Did he tell you I offered him? Did he want to come to Cheltenham with me?
Yeah, and we were trying to convince him to go.
He's a Newcastle fan. He was going to the match, and then Zurich won and all this. Oh, he was fuming.
Absolute dog. He was like,
poor Sean.
Poor Sean. Sean is brilliant. Right, moving on. We're out going across the water. We're going to Weatherby.
I'll just miss that one then, will I? That race.
Oh, sorry, Thomas. Go on, Thomas. Go on. No, go on. Sorry.
I'll keep it short and sweet. But yeah, no, I think Firefox is going through his record. Look, he's won a bumper and a beginner's chase at the course, but he's 2 out of 12 over obstacles, and that was a maiden hurdle win and a beginner's chase win. At this price, you just got to take him on at that. I think Croke Park, and Gorgeous Tom, they're all really closely matched on that Drimmore run. Gorgeous Tom improved leaps and bounds for a fence like many of Henry's last season. Ran really well in the Brown Advisory. He's got a good chance. Where he won't want it too soft if the ground is changing. I actually thought Croke Park. I know he gives a weight all around, but I thought 7-1 was a big price about him. I thought the trip would suit, the ground would suit, and he's had that run now. I don't know if he's still as big as Sean, but
Big Gordo says he's carrying that extra weight, Tom.
he's carrying an extra few pounds. But yeah, they're closely matched on those farms. I actually had lunch with Big Gordo the other day. Actually, he was on my. I say I had lunch with him. He sat at my table for lunch in Cheltenham. So yeah.
When's the horse going?
How could you? How would you? I think
He doesn't even want to answer the question.
I think the phrase is Send them all to Henry. Isn't that what you've said before, Sean? I think
That's it, Tom. That's it.
Send them all.
Send them to Henry and make sure they get on that boat across the water and you bingo.
Why you playing,
Train
Sean?
to the minute.
Wind ups are spectacular.
Apparently not, because Paul Nichols gives them to every horse that walks in the yard and they're still shite. Yeah, I agree with Tom with Crow Park. He was the horse I was going to put up, like, if I had to pick one. Last season he ran like a horse that needed a run. Even though he did win, but he went off and beat Harwood then at 20 when he was 22-1. I don't think they were expecting much out of him then. They're probably not expecting much out of him tomorrow as well. I think 7-1 is a big price given that he's at the having a run. The form he showed last season, and I think the rain if there is the rain to come, I don't think it'll bother him in the slightest. Tricks will hate every drop of rain that falls. So I won't be surprised if she doubles in price tomorrow. She hates that kind of ground. So I think Crow Park will get back a bit. And I won't put anyone off having a few shillings at him at 7-1. Right, we're going over to Weatherby now. We're going to the 150, the Bet365 Mare. Sorry, bear with me now. Mare's Hurdle. The return of the champion hurdler, Golden Ace. Look, oh no, she should be winning this. But does she need to win it spectacularly to be put, not spectacularly, but in good style to be considered? This is weird saying it about a champion hurdler. To be considered good enough to defend her crown. Sean.
Yeah, look. She's a champion hurdler in name, isn't she? Look, she ran very crazily back up behind Statement at Punchestown, but that's where she is in the reality of things. She's about 5-6 lengths off him. Look, I'd say they'd be happy out to only go and win this race by a length or two. I don't think they'd be looking to put in any 10-15 length demolition job here. Her opposition, I don't know what to make of them. Like, she's 2-5. You're hardly backing her at that price. And then the Skelton's horses at the moment, some of them are needing the first run, some aren't. They're just a bit in and out. I don't know how to take them at the moment. But yeah, I don't know how you could go against her. Look, I suppose if they have her any way forward, she should be winning this.
Like, there's not really dare to take her on with Tom. Like Katira, she's the first run. You've Dysorinos, who apparently still the best handicap horse in training.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, sorry, Sean, but yeah, is Dysorinos still the best handicapped horse in the UK and Ireland?
Probably not, Tom, but she was chucked in that day, but I don't know what she's done since.
She wasn't my hole. She's handicapped.
She chucked in.
Shitty novice hurdle form in the UK, and she was definitely not. I'd never forget that day. Anyway, yeah, she's gone backwards very, very quickly. Katira, I don't know. Golden Ace, like, surely just has to go and win this, but it's very uncompetitive. Well, it's competitive for free. Like, there's 3 decent mares in there, but yeah, it wouldn't be for me. I'll probably watch it, but I won't be betting on it.
We did our best to try and make that sound interesting. Moving on. Weatherby 222, grade 2, Bet365 hurdle. Strong leader, 13-8. Potter Charm stepping up to 3 miles is 9-4. Take no chances, 5-1. Winter Fog is coming over for Willie. Probably be Sean's pick at 15-2. Doddy the Great, 12-1. Tom, take us away. Strong leader, is he the strong bet in the race, or is Potter Charm worth the chance over 3 miles against that lot?
Yeah, so my notes on Strong Leader are stable are still flying. They're in tremendous form. They have been for the past number of weeks. And then the next 2 notes are can bomb out and does random shit.
Correct.
So, yeah, for me at 13-8 on a horse that God only knows what he's going to do, I'm not backing him. Potter's Charm for me, he looked really, really good last season. And I think they just thought they could just keep winning with him and it wouldn't take much out of him. And I think they just came undone. And then it was a scramble then to get him back ready for the festival, and it didn't work. He's had a win up as well. He's really interesting that he's going down this route. I thought he'd go chasing, to be honest. And I think I think he's the bet, to be honest. I think he's got a very good chance. He's really interested going forward. Winter Fog is 1 out of his last 13, and that was when he won. I think he won a head or a short head in Tremor Flat Maiden when he went off 8-13. So he's a dude of a horse. He runs on in those big graded races and gets placed. But for win purposes, I couldn't back him. Take No Chances is the other very interesting one. She won the mares race on this car by 10 lengths last year. She'd had a prep run at Chepstow before that as well. Prep run at Chepstow probably didn't go quite as well this year as it did last. But Danny Boy's stable are in good form. She's had that run. She gets a mare's allowance. She's an interesting one. And it's a pretty good race. I'm actually looking forward to it. But for me, Potter's Charm could do a bit of damage if he improves. If he improves naturally, I think he could do a bit of damage in this division.
What are you making of it, Sean?
I'd say my opinion is the polar opposite to Tom's. To be honest with you, I'd say Strong Leader is he does mad shit, and whatever else you had written down there, Tom. But I think the key to him is left-handed flat tracks. I think that's where he performs. They found out, look, he runs well around the likes of your Aintries and Newbury's pancake tracks, and that's what you get here in Weatherby. He's getting a nice bit of ground as well. You've seen him run second to Hidden Valley Lake at Aintree last season. And you just look at the ratings. Look, he's 157 rate and Potter's Charm's 145. He only gives him £3. For me, this Potter's Charm is majorly overrated. Majorly overrated, in my opinion. I know Willie Twiston Davis likes to come out with some bold stuff, and he says he spotted a gap in the mark in the stairs hurdle. This horse must have went horizontal over a fence, or he didn't skill at all, because there's not a chance that he's looked and said, "Oh, I'm going to go down the stairs route over going novice chasing." So I'd say there's a suspicion in my mind that he can't jump a fence in anyways. And you look through, like, he got beaten by 6 Mile Bridge last season. I'm not sure what that grade 1 hurdle at Aintree is up to be honest with you. And then he's beaten Valgrand, and he's had a wind up coming back. He's just a horse that I think they emptied out last season, and it'd be a big, big worry for me coming back in here. I think the biggest danger of the Strong Leader, as Tom's touched on, is the Skeleton horse. Comes in here with a prep run, and the mare Take No Chances. Look, Ransom Knight, the form figures probably don't look great, but she was running in some top races last season, and she ran in that handicap hurdle behind Woodoo and Joe Hughes that day. She came out and won. She was third in the mare's hurdle, and she went on to be third in Cheltenham. So she would be the big worry coming in here, but you only get 2 places. I was hoping for a few more runners. You might get 3 and back each way. But Strong Leader, I just think back on a track left-handed. And Potter's Charm, he is a big, big question mark for me.
Yeah, Strong Leader is a horse that I took to over the last 2 seasons. As Tom alluded to, he is an absolute fruitcake. He can do anything. I know he's back on he has his perfect conditions now, flat track going left-handed. I've given up trusting him, and that's being honest. There's a lot of times where I thought this fella.
Yeah, I don't think I've trusted him to fall out in love. This is probably one of the first early times to back him, to be honest. So this could be it.
No, I'm done with him now. He's very untrustworthy. I agree with Tom. I think Potter's Charm is very interesting going up in trip here against this lot. And look, you can write off what happened after January. They tried to absolutely drill him into the ground to get wins out of him. He ran 1, 2, 3, 4 times from September to December last year, and he was obviously over the top, or was just feeling everything when it came to Cheltenham in January. Again, rushed back for the festival. You can write that off. Look, he's at the winning over 2 Mile 5 at Cheltenham, beating Valgar by 11 lengths doing handstands. This could be the time to catch him now. They might have been just, all right, we actually had something last season. Let's not fuck it up this time. And go down the route. And we've looked at the stairs hurdle. You look at the stairs hurdle, the state of it in the UK. There's no standout horse in there whatsoever. And you were saying, look, he could have schooled shite over fences or whatever, and they could have looked other way. They could have looked at, geez, we tried this fell over 3 miles. There's grade 1s galore to be won over here, over 3 miles over hurdles, and that could be the reason they're staying. He's still only a 6-year-old. There's time enough to go chase and win him if it doesn't work out. Look, they can still go chasing this season if it gets beat on Saturday. Look, I think it's worth a crack. I think has potential to be a lot better than Strong Leader. I think he has more natural talent, and he's not hitting his peak yet. Look, we know he won first time out last season. Twist and Davis horses are still running well, and they're well able to get one ready for the start of the season. And again, look, Sean Bowen and Ollie Murphy have been winning left, right, and centre over the last few weeks. So look, he has to be respected. But look, I can't trust Strong Leader anymore. I think Potter's Charm is very interesting going back up the trip, and if this can unlock more improvement, I can see him being very hard to beat, to be honest. But look, will I back it? Probably. Dan Stevens says, Strong Leader reminds me of Tom. He used to bring garlic bread to the podcast, and now he's running the marathons.
Reformed character, maybe.
That's the day where Tom thought he was going to win a fortune, then Garlic Gaelic Warrior got beat off 127.
The Caribbean has never been the same to me since that horse got beat.
I literally had
it ready to be booked.
You could be still there. You could be living it up in Abbey Dabby-Doo. But now you're sitting in Wexford talking to us. Right, the last one we are going to touch on is the 330. Multi-screen thing is doing my head in. Grade 2, Charlie Hall Chase. That's the wrong time. 2:57, should I say. Charlie Hall Chase. We have Protectorat, the Rat, in at 5-2. Hewick for Shark Allen is in 7-2. Pictori 4-1. Jello is 5-1. The Weed Whacker is 7-1. And Galaw 20-1. Sean, decipher this, because this looks... Is it look Hewick's for the winning?
Yeah, look, I got jiggy early on in the week. I took the 5-1, the scummy each. Yeah, I got jiggy now. I seen Shark say that he's going to swerve down Royal, and he was coming to Weatherby, and I took the scummy each way, 5-1. Now, obviously, you can't get the 3 place anymore. It's down to 2, but I still couldn't put you off him, to be honest with you. I seen Shark talking last night, and he was told that there's parts of Weatherby that are good to firm. So I think no matter what ground they get, if it's going to be quick, it's not going to be deep ground. And look, he's come across instead of going to Down Royal. And I just think you look at him, he ran a cracker last year in Down Royal. He obviously moaned about it being watered and too heavy first time out. And he just got pipped by Envoy. And look, he's run some great races last season, running crackers. And he's come back this season at Torless, and he's had a prep run before coming in here. And I think that's significant. He jumped like a stag that day. Oh, he looked like his bright new spring chicken. He didn't look like a 10-year-old going around Torless. And Shark said after that, the jockey said he took plenty of blows. So I'd say he's going to come on plenty for that race down there. He comes in here and he doesn't have to carry a penalty, which I think is significant. 11 stone 4s, rivals like the Shello, Pictori, and the Real Whacker all carrying 11 stone 10. And I just think if he gets the quicker ground, that might work in his favour and go against Protectorat. And Hewick, you can use his fitness, get him out in front, get him in a rhythm and start putting him to it. The Jello, I'm not sure about that horse. I have my question marks around him. Pictor, he's an Ascot specialist. I wouldn't have him down as a 3-miler. And I think Hewitt can make this a good test to make sure that the stamina is going to be pulled out of him. So I'll be swerving him a little bit. Obviously, you have to respect Protector. I just think if the ground came up quick, it might be in his favour. And the Real Whacker and Galaw, I'd be disappointed if he gets picked up by them now, to be honest with you. So I'm expecting a big run now with Hewitt, and Gavin Sheehan's back in the saddle. Obviously, he rode on to win his King George. So, touch wood, he can get out in front and use his fitness edge and put these all to the sword early. Tom, you on a Shark handling train?
Probably am, to be honest. Yeah, it's not the kind of race that I'm mad keen on, to be honest. I think the ones just Pigdori, Jello, and the Real Whacker have all got to give weight away to Hewick and Protectorat, and I think that probably swings it in Protectorat and Hewick's favour. I know the market says that, and takes no genius to probably think that. But and then if I was picking one of them, Hewick's got race fitness on his side, and he's decent form in the book. It doesn't work for him. Like, he's 2 bad runs there at Leopardstown. He only ran okay there in France the last day, but he ran all right the year before that, and he ran well in the national. So, yeah, look, I think he's got his chance, hasn't he? And yeah, gun to the head for selection, I'd go with Hewick.
Yeah, I think he'll take all the beating on Saturday. Like, Protectorat, for me now, I think he needs an absolute bog to be at his best. That's when he shows his best form. Pictori, if this was at Ascot, he'd have a chance. Jello, he's a horse you couldn't trust. The Real Whacker is not the horse he used to be, and Galaw is probably out for a prep run for the Paddy Power in 2 weeks' time. He's having a prep run over hurdles. He won well from the front. Ground is going to be in his favour. There's a lot in his favour. 7-2, I think, is a fair enough price. 4-1 if you can get it. I think he'll take a hell of a lot of beating, and you'll hear how much he cost all weekend once again. If you didn't know, he cost £800.
It's an ITV classic, that, isn't it? How much it
I
cost?
couldn't believe how much he's won. Do you see how much he's won?
Much you have to win?
Fortunes,
Oh.
I'd say.
Over 700 grand. Like, that's some going.
He's won a King George.
£781,961.
Yeah. Serious going.
That's a solid investment. Nap's best bet. They don't have to be from what we covered. Anything you fancy over the weekend away from what we just talked about? Tom, anybody?
Okay, I'll take it. One an each way shout there in the 202 tomorrow at Down Royal, Full of Life. I think that's overpriced. See, she's 18-1 now, so I'm backing her. I think if I was forced for a next best for a shorty, I'd go for the Yellow Clay from the ones we touched on. And then we're back, baby. So we can only go to one place, and that is Dundalk.
Oh my God!
The nap
Lord.
comes in the 6:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, hold up! I need to get a car in front of me. Right, go on.
Okay, 6:30 tomorrow, Dundalk.
Okay, right. Let's go.
There's a horse running there, trained by Stephen Fawn, who's stable, are in good form at the minute. Had a winner there the other day, and had another one run well at Navan at a bigger price. Horse is Celeste Patterson. Very, very interesting horse. Record on the all-weather is 5 runs, 3 wins, 1/3. Record on turf is 7 runs, no wins, no seconds, 2/3. So much better horse on the all-weather. Comes here after only having a run on the turf in Ireland, and I just think those, if we saw it last week in Dundalk, where there was a listed race, and the sprinters from the UK are just miles better. And if this horse can come over and translate its form, Harry Eustace is a very good trainer, but it's not a downgrade, I don't think, going to Stephen Fawn. Not that much of one anyway. Like, Stephen Fawn is well able to train. So if he can revert that form over, I know he's off 91. He's higher on the all-weather than the turf. Forget about the last day. The ground was completely against him. The time before that, he's ran in 150 grand Premier Handicap and finished third, staying on very well. I just think he wins this, to be honest. He's 5-1, top weight, 6 furlongs will be fine. Like, just wins, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't disagree with it. I was just looking through it there. That's a solid find there, Tom Marine. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Sean, mash that. Where are we going in France?
That's a serious dedication. Dundalk on a Friday night. Tom's back in full flow. The jump season is back. The nap of the weekend, I'd have to go Carrickmore and Spruce. Jiggy into her now, to be honest with you. I think she'll take plenty of beating around there. Next best will probably be Hewick in the Charlie Hall. And 2 horses just to keep on the radar. I think Scary Hill, that runs in the bumper in the last tomorrow, and Monge Tout, whatever way you want to say it. The sibling to Imperial Pass, I think they're 2 talking horses coming out of Elliott's Yard for the weekend, so it'll be interesting to see how they get
on. My nap would Carrickmore and Spruce, the Yellow Clay double. That'll be the nap. Next best tomorrow, 3:12 Down Royal. Someone's Wish. Gordon Elliott, Jack Hendy's on board. One last time out at Down, was 4th on his last chase start at Down Royal, but was beaten in this race last year off 112, only £4 higher. He'd beaten a half length in it. Race fitness on his side. Get that rid of that. He won at Down Patrick on the back of his break on his last run. Still only 5-year-old. Plenty more to come. That was over hurdles, so it was lovely prep run for this, and I think he will take a lot of beating. 6-7-1. He should be minimum placed. Right, so that is us done for tonight. Dave will be proud of me. 59 minutes, 50 seconds. Our mark hit. We are back next week for the first look over the Grand National fences. Until then, enjoy the real start of the jump season. Tom is off to search for another claimer in France so we can buy another Cheltenham winner. Until then, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week for another weekend preview.